And what is very important is food.
Right.
Because every day needs food. But our food came from other countries.
Yeah.
Export.
Ano man na, bro? Why is it that we're supposed to be a agricultural country? So I saw this no news no few months ago na wala tayong onions. But then I also see news that there are cabbage or carrots being thrown at the middle of the road because nobody is buying them or is oversupply. And also see this news that billions of dollars is being imported the agricultural products, even no rice. As a rice eating country, now we are importing a lot of these goods. And then you can see if you go outside of the metropolitan area, daghan mag-farm sa Pilipinas. Yeah, daghan nananom or why is it, for me it doesn't make sense.
It's a broken system that is really designed to be broken. That's what I
Mm.
see. And I'll just give you one example that you could really always relate. If you go now to a, a store, a grocery store, or anywhere from a wet market, you will find a cherry tomato. You will get a price of 500 to 700. And you will say, a cherry tomato, it's expensive. Maybe this cherry tomato is, it's really, it's difficult to grow.
Mhm.
So what I did myself, I said, okay, let's try to plant cherry tomato. Actually, growing a cherry tomato is just the same growing a regular tomato. But the problem is, no one is growing a cherry tomato, and you have to ship it outside from Cebu on other places. So this price becomes expensive. But this price goes from so many levels of people for it to come here in Cebu. And when we grow our tomato, even I can price it at maybe 150 or 100 or maybe 80. But for the market price for our cherry tomato is like 150. But that's the answer. Like, you know, there's the demand, there's the need, and why we're getting, and it can be grown here in Cebu. And why we're getting cherry tomato from other region, right? So it's the same way with onion. We can grow onion here, but it is carefully designed to be broken because if my business is importation, I can get. So you have to cripple the system. But the problem with this kind of business is it's a good business actually. These guys are really smart entrepreneurs. But the problem is it's not sort of, it doesn't, it doesn't connect to our values. You will be rich, but you're making it expensive to the people. Like it's not ethical for me. It's good to make money and buy those things, but if you're doing things unethical, that's not good because you have the advantage of having a big
Do
store.
they even know this or consider this? For example, if you're a trading business, no, that's basically your business model, but middleman ka. And do they even realize that this is the case? Uh, or while you say like they don't have any idea, it's just their business model is to trade, right? And uh, or do you think that no, there's really sabotage going on so that no people will not grow cherry tomato so that we can import it and all these no logistics or importers and middleman can earn a lot or
It's
just not lack of knowledge.
it's both ways. Like it's both ways. Because of a very bad system, some people we nakatapulan na po. So that's why we just buy. So it's our fault also, and people take advantage on it. Especially now with the climate change. So the result of agriculture really is very difficult business if you don't know how, if you don't have the right infrastructure. These guys in other countries or other region might have a very good infrastructure, That's why they have this stable supply. And Cebu having no supply will be taken advantage. So if I have the cherry tomato, wala kayo diyan, then I'll double it or quadruple it because you don't have. And that's why Arca is trying to do, is to prove that we can grow it here or grow it in the neighboring locations wherein it can be more accessible, right? So it's both ways. It's, they know that it's not working and they will take advantage on it, and for the people also that it has really there, but they don't want to explore things like our farmers in the mountain. They know that, oh, we cannot grow cucumber, we'll just grow corn, but actually they can grow other crops there. So the lack of knowledge, the lack of infrastructures, and the lack of motivations is also an advantage for somebody who supplies.
So the Arca Village project, talk about this one, no? So starting with food, throughout human history, no, the fundamental driver of civilization is we go there, we migrate from a nomadic, no, nomadic tribe to migrating to a farm community. But right now, it's not the case. Diba? Everybody goes out of the provinces to be in the cities. So beginning with, you know, food security. Uh, can you talk about this picture here? No? What are these structures?
These structures are rain shelters. No? It's a sort of, it's as it's from the word, it's from the greenhouse, but greenhouse is for the countries that has no and closed, ano. But a rain shelter is, it's a covering actually, and it has to protect from from rain, at the same time from pests to come in. And it's also a good, it's a structure wherein the farmers can continue do the farming while even it's still raining or even it's very hot, because it's a protected structure. And by that, the rain shelters also is has technologies that can make farming more efficient, and thus build or boost also productivity, like for example drip irrigation,
Mhm.
monitoring of crops, and also very importantly it really protects it from the pest and those, like the rain is very also fatal for the for for the crops, but it's sort of a tool, no, for farmers, for them. So it's like if you have a jeep, if you're a driver you need a jeep, for farmers you need a rain shelter.
Yeah, let's talk about the production capacity. So from the previous ones, no, you that every uh so every rain shelter would have a production capacity of 1,000 kilos of produce every week for just 1,000 square meters. No, again, no, this is varies. No, disclaimer, this varies, but how were you able to do this? No, it's the yield is maximized.
uh yeah, because it has the technologies to grow, and then you have the right inputs to make it work. And since there's a protected structure, that 1000 per kilo is very achievable. Like for example, when you grow a cucumber, in each shelter, it has like 1000 square meter, but it has four tunnels. So every week you get to have a harvest in every. But to achieve that, we have also to create it also a sort of a nursery wherein the farmers will just put the seedlings there for them to grow. So it's a sort of, there's a supported system on the backside.
Okay, so that enables
Yeah.
uh maximum yields for these rain shelters. And then you already mentioned its protection from too much heat or too much rain and pests as well. And then uh but the also one of the things is it's 1:1 farmer to rain shelter ratio. So every So the only thing that the one farmer can be focused on is his rain shelter. No, she takes care of that. No, can you tell us how you came about this? And then, no, for every farmer, we talk about in the past about, no, they would, no, mangutang sila, they would lend money so that they would be able to plant, and then at the harvest time, no, they became a one-day millionaire, no, and then after paying all the debts, then they would now be starving for the next few months. But what you did in Arca is you are doing it, no, can you uh talk more about that, of how how that concept works, about, the farmer one, and then the economics of that.
Yeah. Actually, there's a change of the model that
Mhm.
we have. It still have one farmer in one shelter, which is he becomes, we call it a farmer champion.
Farmer champion, okay.
Yeah, farmer champ who really focus on his tunnel, his rain shelter.
Mhm.
But along the way, there's a sort of a farm assist that also supports the farmer, because it's what, when we tested it, it is was really hard for a farmer to do the things in one tunnel, and it needs a pharmacist. That pharmacist will help on the harvesting, the pharmacist will help on the monitoring. There will be sort of agri technicians who will also monitor, so the farmers will focus on the caring of the crops. So that farmer assigned there will be the one responsible on on everything there, but there's a solid behind the scene supporting him.
Gotcha.
It's a part of the ecosystem, like for example harvesting. So the people who works in the post harvest facility will also assist him on the harvesting. And
Okay.
there are also means and ways also, like for example there are like 10 rain shelters there, and then now it's your time to have to clear up. There will be a farm assist who do the support to make it the work more faster. So they will have a sort of bayanihan system.
Wow,
but
okay.
but for it to be also very successful, there should be one farmer champion who will really focus on one on one on one rain shelter, because he's responsible to that, because he's the ones managing it.
Okay. So let's talk about, economics, on why this works, no. So 1,000, so let's say, everything goes well and we always produce 1,000 kilos, but which is, again, disclaimer, this which is not the case all the time, but
Mhm.
we're very confident that these numbers are sound, no. So 1,000 kilos per week. So on average, how much is a per kilo for all the produce? Let's say 50 pesos. Is that a good number? 50 pesos per
uh
kilo?
we can cite, like for example cucumber.
Mhm.
So our contract price is like 35 pesos.
35 pesos. But you also have cherry tomatoes, which is 150 pesos, right? So on
Yeah,
average, it's about, let's say, 50. Is that a sound number, or we can lower
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It-
That's a sound
50.
number for
Yeah,
50. And
right, right.
but
So on average is 50. So that means that every rain shelter produces 50, 1,000 kilos per week. It's 50,000 per month, and no, 50,000 per week times 4 weeks in a month. So more or less, one rain shelter would earn, no, again, if everything goes good, there's no outside factors and everything is good, then ideally it would earn about 200,000 pesos per month per rain shelter. Is that correct?
uh probably we can hit that, but there are other factors also
Yeah,
depending.
yeah. Again, let's not talk about outside factors, no. Uh, uh, if it's just consistent, so it's just consistent that there's no other outside factors, no, everything is good, no, the harvest is great, the yield is great. So, uh, with when best case scenario, it's about 200,000 pesos per rain shelter per month. Is the economics right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
and then uh if that's the case, 200,000, and you only need like one or two farmers, the farmer champion and the farmer assist to work on that, no? Usually how much we pay the farmers every month?
What we did is we pay them by sort of, there's a sort of a goal that they need to reach the productivity. So
Again, if it's like 200,000 a month, so they are maximized in their productivity, how much do they earn?
if they are on that stage, I think there will be they will be receiving around, I think, 10 to 15K per week.
Wow. So they are earning 40,000 a month.
Yeah, I think that's
So you're now like a supervisor in a call center.
yeah, the actually yun
Right?
talaga, yun
That's
talaga
the
yung kita ng farmer
that's
if
the
they're
comparable, right?
yeah, if they're efficient. If
Yeah.
they're
So again, we're doing it, no, the best case scenario. So if their best case scenario 15,000, so that means they are 15,000 a week. So they could earn maximum 60,000 a month. Oh, you're
yeah,
now a bank manager.
yeah, that could be very, that can hit actually.
Di ba?
Uh yeah.
That
And that's
so
our
that farmer is not poor, right?
yeah,
That
that's why
farmer is rich.
yeah,
Sixty
but
thousand a
there
month.
yeah, but there are some, because agriculture is based on, by the way, bro, it's our progress is based on the cropping.
Right,
So
right.
in each channel there are like croppings, like for example for cucumber, you
Mhm.
need to grow it like, I don't know the right number, but I think 45 days or uh, and it will have like one plant, it will have a target of 3 kilos for 3 to 3 to 10 kilos. Yung 3 yung pinaka minimal na. But
Right,
5 to
right.
10, but 10 will be the maximum.
Yep.
So
Oh,
10 kilos per plant.
wow. Okay.
And then that will be the for the entire like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But it will start harvesting after a certain period.
Right,
But
right.
from there you will start to harvest and then it will die and then you will replace it again. So it's
Yeah.
another cropping. So it's sort of that's why we need it. We have a cycle. So
Right, right.
after that tunnel gets harvested, the second tunnel again will start to to have harvest again. So
Harvest
it's not
again.
a cycle like the
Yep,
first
yep.
tunnel. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
So
I understand, understand. Yeah, I understand. So there's a cycle to it, and there's no but it's just I want our audience to know that there's money to be made, right? Money to be
yeah,
made out of this activity, no? Obviously they don't the technical side of things, no, the cycle time and things like that. No, we take care of all of that for them, no, for
yeah,
our would be partners, supporters, and investors. We take care of that, all of that for them. I'm just emphasizing that the economics are sound, right?
yeah. Actually, it could more improve along the years that
Right, exactly.
we put
The
it there.
more
And
technology we could be able to deploy, no, it
and
could
yeah,
be
and
better.
the level of the farmers also. That's why we deploy also agri experts there to
Mm-hmm.
monitor, because these farmers are high school graduate or even not high school graduate. So that's why they have to. It will take them time also to learn, but it's easier kasi when
Upskilling also the farmers.
upscaling. That's why it has a cycle then. But eventually, that's why it's easier for them to adapt, because the farmers will just focus on trellising,
Mhm.
taking care,
Right, right.
weeding, all other activities inside, and others like pest controls and other things that will be taken care of with the farm assist.
Gotcha.
The
Yeah.
farm assist are the backside of it that makes the farmer also very successful. It's not only one person, because the idea of ARCA system is more of ecosystem play.
Right.
Everybody has its expert. Somebody on the nursery is expert on the nursery, but somebody has to be focused on that. Somebody is focused on. So there are level of expertise in the farm, and
Right.
I think the goal there to build that shelters and make it viable, economically viable, is because it does that is the spark, or that is the the sort of the light on that village to start creating abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Because the goal there is to make this community sustainable, so they can now contribute to the second phase, which is farm tourism and other stuff,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah,
So
we will talk about those two.
yeah,
Uh,
so this is
so
the primary thing. For us to enable them, we have to create them the livelihood. So this is the missing piece. Like, if you have the land, that's why people will not really invest on people there, will not spend money on there, because they don't have maybe the resources to do it, but they have the land. And what Arca is doing is to create that sort of uh, work or livelihood there, so it can has sort of uh, uh, economics inside that location, right? Because people now are productive,
mhm,
harvesting crops, planting crops. So that is the engine on the next phases of the development.
right. So just to uh have this slide over here is focusing on the farmer. So basically the farmer would increase their earning capacity by joining an Arca village, no, or being inside the Arca village. They're gonna be members of a farmers cooperative, no, and with that, because they would have now stable income. No, the next, one of the things that would create a village is, of course, people need to live there, no, and
Yeah,
uh, we don't want our farmers, no, to live in a not good condition, because they need to work, they are exerting effort, but now because they have now stable income, no, they can be eligible, no, for a socialized and economic housing loan through the Pag-ibig Fund. So we have spoken with, no, uh, uh, officials of Pag-ibig, and they are actually very interested in partnering with us in developing, housing communities adjacent to the farms, and that would create now the whole Arca village. So even if, agrarian reform, we're not gonna, no, it's not gonna be the farmers who's gonna be owning the land, but they can own their own house, and that's the dream really that we are envisioning for the future, especially for me on the real estate side of things. That when when the farmers can now own their own house that is theirs, they have equity in it, no? And that, no, how much is a house right now, and then with appreciation, no, it's over, 1 million pesos in value. So now you could say that every farmer is a millionaire because they would have a house worth more than 1 million pesos. So if it's economic housing, it's probably 1.2 or 1.5 million pesos. And through Pag-ibig, the mortgage or the amortization that they will pay is what, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, maybe 5,000 pesos per month, which they can afford because they're now earning what, 10,000 pesos per week or 15,000 pesos per week. It's very affordable. It has very sound economics, and that's just uh, one of the things that we are looking to build in the Arca village. So we're also thinking about where would these farmers live. Initially, no, they would, have their houses there and make up a hut or something, but eventually, no, and it won't take a lot of time. No, in in a few months or a year, they can already start, owning their own house. No, what do you think about this initiative, Neil?
uh, actually, when we build the village, since there's already people there, the land are productive. The goal really, like, what, like for example, why people from the province go to urban locations, because they want to create jobs. How do you what
Right.
do you want to work? and then by that work they will able to earn money. But the problem is it's not enough for them because they have to pay rent, pay food, right? And that's why it's hard for them to really even buy a house.
Right.
And for this situation is that it's the reverse. So instead of attracting these farmers or other people in the rural area, I will just make it generalized because
Right.
everyone we don't call them farmers, but they are part of that ecosystem of agricultural supply chain.
Mhm.
But these people are who live in the rural area. Now we cannot, now we don't anymore bring them to the city. It will actually depopulate the locations because the jobs being created is in the farm, in the village. And
That's
now
right.
this village becomes productive. Like for example, I'll give you sort of example, like a certain farm produces products that can be exported. So these products being grown in the farm, processed in that location, and then ship it outside or ship it locally also. And that needs workforce and needs investment and needs, it's a livelihood, right? And
Mhm.
these people working there need not to go to the city already because there's already work in that location. And now since the benefit of here is that they will not anymore rent a house because it's part of that cooperative system that the part of the member can also own a house.
Right.
And because there's already productivity there, then people can pay, right? And even
Mhm.
not just farmers, even like for me, settlers from urban area is paid off about the baha and all other things and want to live peacefully, and they are working online, or maybe they are graphics designers, social media managers, or they work in the BPO, can also choose to live there because there's a connection and a good location. So right, so it's a sort of creating opportunities on that location, and food is also there already because you're
Right.
producing food. So this a way of depopulating it by creating sort of economy here in the rural area through the Arca Village setup project. So
Exactly.
yeah, for example, like a single farmer gets to earn 15,000 or maybe 20 or 30. It's a big difference if you in the city because the food is expensive, the rent is,
Right.
but if you
Right.
live it here, the cost of living is very cheap. Thus, having a property that you can grow. I think maybe the housing could be more cheaper also. It's because the land is compared to the city is expensive,
Right. That's right. That's right. The housing
right?
could be cheaper as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can sell a 500,000 house. That's good enough for them
Mhm.
rather than no house and a property.
Right.
And
Yeah.
one of the problem here is the sense of ownership. The farmers don't even have a house, those things. But this now creates it's an opportunity. Now, for us, why we need this? If the farmers are already well trained professionals and all the people working in the supply chain, you have to keep them right, and you have to keep them happy and have this sort of security. One of piece there is house, right? You have to build a family. Now you don't have any more problem with workforce because they're living in the same village.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And with this initiative, uh, we are inviting, architects and engineers to partner with us to help us design, uh, sustainable and housing for the farming community, and also, master planning. Again, this is a initiative that we will do nationwide. So, although we have, already, architects and engineers in the team, uh, but to scale this, to a level that is unprecedented and would be able to really address, the food security issue, we need, you know dozens or hundreds of ARCA villages all over the country. And so let's talk about the next phase after, after we do, agriculture and farming, and now affordable housing for our farmers. Now, what happened in the pilot farm in Luzaran is now people flock there because they want to see the farm, right? The farm now becomes the amenity, right? It becomes now a tourist destination. So can you talk about that experience on why is
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah. Every person that visited there wants to live there.
Wow.
Even the owner of Lemon Coast said, I want to build something there. I want to build my retirement home there. A certain chef said, can I bring my family here? Because they feel the community, they feel the place, because the place is also very nice to relax instead of going to the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with this enabled, uh, the farm is set up. There's food in there. There's already roads created because of that activity, and there will be created like swimming ponds because there already community there,
Right.
workforce that can,
Swimming ponds instead of swimming pools, right?
yeah,
That's
swimming
very good
ponds,
one. Yeah.
because there's abundant of water and you have to catch it, and you have to create sort of a swimming pond. And by that also, because of this vast area, now people can, instead of going to like Santa Lucia or those are expensive. It's very expensive thing, but it's not even. It's just it just looks good, but there's no so much nature in there
Right.
compared to the Arca Village. It's a connection of the nature, people, and the food, right? So when you go there, you have to you will really enjoy, no? So it's a new way of like checking in a hotel. I would rather go here compared to the hotel, because in the hotel, even you're in the resort, you'll be locked in inside the room. But here you get to roam around, and you don't even know that you're been exercising. You're walking barefoot. So actually, there's a word of sort of a healing process there, like kids going around playing with the goats, playing, running around, playing with children, get out from the gadget. There's already a sort of mental health fix there, right?
Right.
And when family like the father and mother get to have time with each other and sitting down, just being at that moment, right? Instead of rushing around, very stressed, right? So
Mm-hmm.
nature has its own way of healing people, and
Sure.
this is the magic that you're trying to say, that
Mhm.
by building it, magic comes in because of these resources that has been regenerated and being created also.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, so that's basically the whole Arca Village concept. No, right now, from farming community, to enabling of those farmers to afford their own houses and affordable housing initiatives, and now for the public to actually enjoy that farm by a farm resort concept, that they would be able to book accommodations there. They would be able to have a day trip to the farm and things of that, and that enables also another no job opportunities, livelihood opportunities for the families of the farmer, the wife or their children, or no their other neighbors, to be able uh to be able to participate in the economic growth of that area. So
Yeah,
that basically uh, the
I,
Arca Village concept. Yeah, Neil, you were saying.
I back
Mm.
backslide please.
Ah,
Yeah, and the other thing that we are also want, like for me actually, that's why I created the village, is just to answer, because I have the experience before. I think you were been hit by Odette, right?
mhm. Yeah, that's right.
And we also been experienced about the COVID, right?
Mhm.
And my realization that time is that if these things happens again, where should I go? Should I lock my my place, or wait for some subsidy, or wait some food for me to be delivered to the hotel, or to
Mhm.
the condominium that I live, or to
Right.
the subdivisions that I live. This one is sort of an answer to my question that if if there's challenges or sort of catastrophe or things that we cannot control, I'll be here in this place safe with my family, right?
Yeah.
It's a good investment for me, and I wanted, now I can go here, but I wanted to share it to the rest of the people also, that they could live there and still continue to work at the same time, have a sort of a safe place like an ark, right? Like
Mhm.
now rich people are creating bunkers, no? And this one bunker is like a prison for me.
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
village for me is a sort of a safe bunker, right? It's a safe bunker within. You need food, you can have there. You need some assistance from other people, there's a community there. You have to have fresh food, it's there, right?
Mhm.
So I would say that actually that's the main thing. The end result of this is to create an ark, like a Noah's ark, but a safe bunker for people, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing that I see also, to bring more people there and live in this area, and enjoy life, because we've been chasing around dreams, but we're still in this office. We are still in this house that has been in the square. I wanted to share sort of experience that you can
Yeah.
go anywhere, run, play, hide, enjoy, meet friends, enjoy the nature. That's been taken from us from many years, and we want to bring it back this time through this Arca project.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So, we're you know inviting people to join us in this movement, no, and be the inspiration to build more Arca villages all around the Philippines and beyond. No, either you can volunteer uh, in so many other forms. No, find us on social media and things like that. Just ask if you want to be a volunteer. We're also looking for financial partners to be able to help us fund this very ambitious project. Uh, also, if you are interested in being investor and helping us in this advocacy, uh, and obviously return on investment and business growth as well. That's always been the primary driver, apart from the effect of social impact. Uh, but we are also inviting you to join us, and also landowners that has unused agricultural lots, uh, ideally about 10 hectares, more or less, and you if you wanted to build your own Arca village in the community that you're in, or if you're no longer in that community and you want to revive that community and or go back to that community, because you're no longer there, but you want somebody to enable that, we can also do that for you, and you can partner with us and be an Arca builder uh, as the landowner. So, Neil, anything that you wanted to add, and just to wrap things up, invite people, inspire people to join and support this Arca Village movement.
Yeah, I'm first of all I want to thank also Riva staff, or OG Lopez, for thank you OG for really also
Of course, man.
uh, taking this opportunity for us to make it happen, no? And it was just a dream before, and now it's becoming a reality. And the pressure is here for us also, is that you know uh, we live in a world that is very very uh, connected in some way, but source of creating a sort of creating more problems, and we have to be back on our roots. And the primary goal to really to enjoy life with the family, friends, and enjoy life, not just chasing these things. Uh, so these things. So yeah, we want to be to see you in the village and be part of this movement, and any means that you can have. It's a sort of saving lives for our farmers, saving lives for yourself, saving lives for the community, and doing something that does really matter. I would say invest on things that matters, right? No matter how many shoes you have, how many cars you have, if there's a problem, like, it does not matter actually. But with this project, I'm perfectly say that whatever you put in there, it will really create impact in each one of us. And this is a project that really has it creates matter. This project has really does matter. So yeah, I'm just excited to see you and work with us also. Thank you.